It's not showing everything. That web stream was showing everything. Oh yeah, that looks great. Looking good, fam. Let's see who else is on here. This is crazy. It's a new day. I don't actually have anybody on here yet, but let me see if there's a way for me to find that out in the chat. So, oh yeah, up here it'll say. So I'm live now. Can you see me on this? Looking good on here. Actually looking good on here. This is crazy. God, the clarity on this camera is just crazy. Lady producer. Yeah, I know, right? This camera situation that we got going on is very, very crispy. Very, very tell me how the audio is real quick before people come in here, lady producer. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear the fan in the background? Let me know, let me know. Sounds great and no background noise. Yo. Oh, excellent. Okay. So I'm seeing that since it's my first time on YouTube, I can't just scroll through the comments. So I'm probably going to have to get let's see, top chat, live chat. Okay. So let me do that. Okay. And then participants. Okay. So to show me who's in here, I did do quite a bit of research before I got on here on the live first. But let's see who else is on here. I did enough promotion, so I'm hoping that people aren't still expecting for me to pop up on Instagram. But the promo says YouTube, and I got a lot of people saying that they were happy for me to be over here. So I know I'm happy to be over here. So, man, this camera is unforgiving. You can't have a speck of nothing. It's gonna show everything. My old skin. That's all right. So you know how we usually do. This is the first one. We're gonna go ahead and build it up. We're gonna start off with the win sections, but as usual, we're gonna wait until some people get in here. This is the inaugural live stream, so I'm kind of hoping a bunch of people come in here like normal. But if not, then we'll cut it short. I'll pay a lot more attention to promo during the week because I only actually posted one promo. So now that I'm thinking about it, I guess I can't actually expect everyone to have seen that. Shout out to everybody that did repost and help spread the word out there. She said, I don't have my notifications on, so I came looking for you because you fam. That's why. It's for all the non-family members that I'm concerned about. So I'll cut it short. Like we can actually do like a quick, we 4 minutes in and nobody's here yet. So I know how this social media thing works, man. I know I didn't do enough promo. I had a busy week, stuff going on in the background, no excuses. But I can't really expect everybody to just switch up my social media platform with the minimal amount of promotion that I did. And let this be a learning moment for myself as well as anybody who sees this video. It's very, very important to market yourself and promote yourself. I always talk about that. Sometimes we're bad about following our own advice, but I'm no different than anybody else. I should have went hard during the week with the promos and let the whole world know that I was going to be here. So watch next week. Watch what we do. I'm sitting here looking at these numbers. You can see I'm like, golly, it's you, Tay, and one person. Who's the third person? Who else is in here? Zello, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Happy Friday. You said they come on CP time. That's true. What's up, Zello? Happy Friday. Welcome to the very first inaugural Sync Hustle Mindset live stream on YouTube. New crispiness. Good to see you too, man. Well, since there's like you guys are here, I'm not trying to waste your time, waste nobody's time. So I am curious about the wins. So we can go ahead and get the wins started. And if that's all we're gonna do today, then that's all we're gonna do today. But I do want to hear what you guys did this week. So lady producer, you can go ahead and start it off for us if you want to. I'm sorry, I keep looking over at the screen instead of looking up at the camera. I gotta get used to that. So Green Coast, what's up? Nice to see you, man. Just saw the notification. So you guys are getting YouTube notifications. You guys getting your I don't have my notifications turned on, man. It seems like when I turn my notifications on, my phone just blows up too much, you know, and I usually have a bunch of stuff to do. So thank you guys for having your notifications on. I appreciate it. And let's see what we can get popping. There's 3 of you in here. So lady producer submitted a bunch of cues last weekend. I'm still reading. So that's fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis for. Let me see if I can put some in, and I don't know if I can do this. Let's see, chat, reaction. Oh, these are different emojis on YouTube. So let me scroll through and see if I can find the fire emoji. I like this way better than Instagram, though. Especially how it looks. Like, you know, we looking good. We're looking good now, man. We got the professional look. So I can't wait to take it to we're taking this to podcast levels. So I'm gonna be doing interviews, and you know, we're gonna be out in the streets filming other places besides here. So don't just think that it's gonna be us here in the lab. And when I say us, I do have there's a fire emoji right there. I do have Taquan Black in studio with me. Taquan, can you pop your head in real quick in the background so y'all see? Oh yeah, we right there. Ah, yeah. Okay, so this is this is people have studio rooms. This is in the studio room. This is a set. So like, you know, we have recording equipment stuff in here, but this room is basically, you know, for filming, it's for recording, it's for performances, like it's basically a set. So we break it down and use it how we need to use it. And he's got a podcast to film today as well. So we're working right after this live stream. I want to Segura Productions. How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll be talking like if it gets to the point where, well, when it gets to the point where there's a lot of people in here and I'm not able to handle the um the chat, I'm definitely gonna need some moderators in here to kind of help facilitate the questions. And you know, you guys know what moderators do. I never thought I was gonna have to have one, but you know, I never thought I was gonna be a YouTuber either. So you never know. Um, so yeah, shout out to Segura for the very generous offer. And Segura, I hope you got our email, our Smash Coast email. So if you haven't, you will be. So fire emojis for lady producer. So we're in the wins right now. We got a couple of you in here, and I'm anxious to hear what you guys did this week, even if that's all we do today. So let me know. Sherry Witt, the lady producer, is always very busy. So shout out. We sent some fire emojis. So who's next? Zello. Let me see what you're doing. What happened this week, man? Golly, you can see the shine on my this camera, boy. Now I see why people on TV be wearing makeup. I might have to get me a makeup person. Yeah, you know, the little tap up with the little TV powder. Oh, so Garrett, well, just so you know, I'll announce it on here. We're bringing you on, man. We're gonna offer you an agreement and bring you on. And once we get it done, I want to have a phone call with you so we could, you know, get some direction. So, but yeah, congratulations again for everybody. Sagaric Productions through his due diligence. I can't say that we can take a lot of credit for his great submission process, but he gets it. He knows how to submit to a company. He knows how to set up an email. The music was good. And it's like I couldn't really ask for too much more in a submission. And it's something that we needed as a company. Like we need full songs. So we brought him on. So congratulations, fire emojis to Sagara Productions. He is now Smash Coast. We will get you your agreement out expeditiously. So Zello says, I'm 5 tracks into a lo-fi album for TV film. That's dope. So let me tell you something though, real quick. Okay. If you weren't asked for a lo-fi album, I know it's, you know, it's part of what's, you know, needed in sync, but one of my things is to guide you guys towards, you know, a higher placeability rate. So if you're making instrumental albums, you always want to stay mid to up tempo energetic. Lo-fi usually has lower tempo stuff, and that stuff places a lot less. The mid tempo to up tempo stuff, the stuff with energy in it, is placed a lot more than the lower tempo stuff. As a matter of fact, we have companies all the time and music supervisors tell us that you know, don't send ballads, don't send slow stuff, don't send low energy stuff. It's kind of like the A&R game with the record labels, man. You want to be able to smack the person in the ear as soon as they press play. You know, you're not the only one in most situations sending music. So, and then most of these people that are taking music in, their jobs are time sensitive. So they don't have a lot of time to sit there and listen to a bunch of music. So they'll A&R, they'll listen to the first 5-10 seconds of a track or a song just to hear if it has the elements they need. They don't have time to listen to the whole song and listen to the changes and all that kind of thing. And so if you're in that situation, especially with instrumentals, because way more instrumentals are turned in than songs, and so the process is usually more, you know, it's faster, more tedious. So if you're trying to grab ears and grab attention, lean more towards the mid to up tempo energetic genres. That's why sports music is popular, because it's energetic. It's energetic as hell. There's always sports, you know, there's always a sport, you know, from Red Bull sports to NBA to NHL to, like, there's always a need for that type of music. Um, and so set up correctly and pitched correctly, there's a way higher probability that those types of cues and songs will get actually used by a client, just because when they press play, they're going to get smacked in the face with the energy. They're going to hear those horns. They're going to, you know, hear those drums smacking 808s or whatever. And it's just going to have more of an effect on the average listener or the average music supervisor than a lower tempo, a ballad, or say like a lo-fi instrumental. I love listening to lo-fi stuff, but I usually put lo-fi beats on when it's time to chill out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to relax, you know, stressful day, things been going, and that's like I want to wind down or whatever. Now, I'm not saying don't make lo-fi stuff and turn it in, but definitely like keep that on like the lower end of stuff that you're putting out. Keep it mid-tempo to up-tempo stuff, and you'll get a lot more reaction. So but shout out to Zello. It says, yeah, they asked for it. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They asked for it. So you already got, so you know what? My community already knows what's up. Sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the choir in here. You guys have been coming long enough and you know the game. You know a lot of the game, man. So that was for everyone else. Stay away from the lower tempo stuff. You will get situations when they ask for that type of stuff. So shout out to Zello Music for even being in a situation to get asked for music. You got a company asking you for something specific that you can deliver. So you're in the game. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Zello. That's what's up. Shirley Sound, what's up? Nice to see you, man. Natalie Crawford, nice to see you, lady. How you doing? Thankful to be here with you too. Raquel, hey, Raquel. Riza, how you doing, lady? Your video quality looks sharp and colors are brilliant. Yeah, man. I upgraded. We leveled up a little bit. Tay and I actually had this camera for a long time, and we got this camera to film. God, you can see every little. I'm sitting looking at every little. Like I need to stop looking at the screen. We got this camera to do music visuals, right? Excalibur Zero, what's up, man? Love your content, man. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. You and Clint, you guys got it unlocked. I wish that I had the time to dedicate, more to the social media, and I'm doing it overtime, no excuses. But man, running this company is time consuming in a good way, not complaining, but I'm here. I'm here. So, what's good, everybody? Nothing. This is the very first live stream of the Sync Hustle Mindset, and we are in the wins section of the live right now. So I'm still scrolling down looking for some wins in here. So what happened last week? What'd you do this week? Sagara Productions made it to Team Smash Coast. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Sagara Productions, man. Let's let them feel it. Let's let them know. And add him. Don't just put fire emojis in the comments. Add him so he can feel it. Let him know that you're talking to him. You know how we do here. We support each other. Thank you so much, Sagara. He says, I appreciate that, soaking up your insight, man. I've been learning a lot from your IG videos. And that makes me feel good because you guys in the sync space, the educators in the sync space, you guys are so on point with your information that sometimes I wonder if I can't offer anything to you guys. Like, you guys know the game, you get in placements or whatever. But so to make me feel like I have, to let me know that I have value amongst my peers, the guys that are actually educating people, that makes me, that's fire under me, man. That's wind beneath my wings for real. Um, I'm not a social media guru. I know how to do this sync thing and this music thing, but this whole music, social media thing and all, whatever, like I'm still, getting my legs. So I very, very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. So I'm looking for more wins. So we do a win section every week where we start the live off. And I just want to hear what people did during the week so we can celebrate it because as you know, as creatives, we took the hardest route to get to where we're trying to go, by choosing to, go after our dreams by, focusing on our talents or whatever. And I'm sure, and I'm sure that we don't get celebrated enough in our private lives, when we do things. And, we have these days where it's just hard to keep going when things aren't happening fast enough or whatever. So we get in the live here and we let everybody know what we did this week and we celebrate it, you know, not on no bull crap either. Like, we genuinely want each other to win. That's why I love this community so much, because it's, you guys are like-minded. So we're in the win section. Let's look for the next one. What happened this week? I'm not seeing enough in here. Natalie, what happened last week? Okay, so Sagara Production says, thank you, Sagara, jumping in. Says, made a bunch of new cues and instrumentals this week, but getting accepted in the Smash Coast is definitely my biggest win this week. Yay, fire emojis. Well, you already got fire emojis, but let's see. You said you made a bunch of cues and instrumentals, so you were productive this week. So we got fire emojis coming to you for that. You always got to produce. Everything you do is a step forward towards where you're trying to go. It's the people that procrastinate and don't do anything that we got to worry about. Even if you do a little bit during the week, it's a little bit more than you did the week before. So we celebrate that. We want you feeling good about the things you do so you can keep doing them, on those days when you don't feel like doing it, on them days where you need that motivation a little bit more, So that's why we do this. So fire emojis again to Sagara Productions. I love it. I love it. So Riza, what's up, lady? Riza's got a new single out right now, so go check it out. You guys go stream it to death. She talking about that bag, she talking about that money. So she says, Riza says, I released a new single titled Making Plans. last night, and my music video sneak peek. The music video is on the way. So you know what? I love it. For first of all, fire emojis for Riza. She's Team Smash Coast as well. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Um, I love to see the activity, especially with the recording artists. Um, it's a rough game being a recording artist. So I love seeing music being released. I love the visuals. Excuse me. I just love the activity, man. So fire emojis for Riza, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. I love it. We celebrating. And I'm looking in the comments and I see you guys are adding her. I love it. I love it. Green Coast, I see you creeping around in the chat, man. What'd you do this week? Give me a win, Green Coast. Excalibur. I know you out there burning the world down. Give me a win. What happened? These wins that you guys are posting are not just for us to celebrate you and make you feel good, but they're very, very motivational to everybody that's on the stream, that everybody that watches. And I love this YouTube because it's going to record this. I'll be able to chop up all, chop this, edit it, and then actually put it on so you guys can come back and check this out. But I want you guys to see that people out here busy, man. People out here doing stuff. We're out here getting it done. And when you see somebody at you with some fire emojis, it feels good. You can't tell me it doesn't. So I'm waiting to see Green Coast. I'm waiting to see Excalibur Zero, which is a dope name. You're gonna have to give us the history of that name, Excalibur Zero. Where'd that come from? Wait a minute. Green Coast Music says, couple tracks away from finishing my Afro House album. Afro House. Yeah, I'm hella curious about that. So you're gonna have to go ahead and when you get that done, go ahead and shoot us a link. You could DM me a link or whatever, and let me check that out. Afro House, huh? Very, very, very intriguing. That's a genre you don't even hear a lot. Matter of fact, I'm not sure I've ever heard anybody mention it in a live or whatever. Afro House, I bet it's dope. So yeah, let us check it out. I'm sure other people are curious too. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Green Coast Music out there getting it done. Out there getting it done. I love the proactivity, man. I love it. Excalibur Zero says, I don't know, but reaching out to a lawyer was initially a little intimidating for me. So starting that process makes me feel like an adult. So let me go back up here. Oh, it says this week, I'm sorry, Excalibur Zero says, this week I reached out to a couple of entertainment lawyers for the library I'm starting, and it felt like a big step. I don't know, but reaching out to a lawyer was initially a little intimidating for me. So starting that process makes me feel like an adult. Yeah, you growing up, man. You go and see that's the dope thing about sync. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent here like I do sometimes, but um sync licensing gives you opportunities to go in different directions if you want to go in different directions. So if you want to, become like, say, my guy Guilty Flores on the team, for instance. I remember, when we were working back in the day and he was doing, television cues, background stuff, instrumentals for the most part. I mean, 100% because it was like all instrumentals back then. And then he hit me one day because like his thing is he's a big gamer, so he wanted to be able to make music for video games and video game trailers or whatever, but he didn't know theory and he wasn't really high on the orchestral side of doing things, right? So he called me one day and he's like, you know what, I'm going to take a year off of, just letting you know, I'll still turn in stuff, but I'm going to take a year off and dedicate myself to learning music theory so I can get these video games done or whatever. That was his direction. That's what he wanted to do. The fact that he had amassed a certain amount, a nice little resume of placements, um, basically guided him to this place to where he was like, okay, so now I've done this, I want to do this now. Once you get to a certain place in sync, once you have a certain level of knowledge in sync, it definitely affords you opportunities to branch off into different directions. Like, say, for instance, my partner Kim, she doesn't create music, but she's very, very knowledgeable in the sync space. So it gave her options. She's she has a music supervision credit. So if she wanted to be a music supervisor or sync coordinator for a bigger company, a label or whatever, or what she's doing now, have her own company in Smash Coast. um it definitely gives you options. And so with Excalibur Zero is dope because his goal is to have his own sync licensing company. So the evolution is different for every person, but there's definitely an evolution in this game. And I just love it. So Excalibur Zero, man, you're educating people without even trying to educate people on here. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. You know how we do, y'all. Let's let them feel it. Let's let them feel it. Let's add him. And we rocking with your company as soon as you get it started. Just consider Smash Coast Music. Like, we can do a partnership. None of these companies work solo, man. Like, none of these companies, I don't care if it's the big companies or the little companies. Like, we have a bunch of third-party partners because we usually have music better than a lot of companies that are out there. And they usually have, well, not usually, but they'll have sync opportunities that we don't have. And so we'll provide the music for that. So we'll do a co-pub deal with them, which is, you already know what that is. So when you're ready, man, let us know. We'll do a co-pub with Excalibur Zero, whatever the name of your company is, and then we can get it popping. You have access to our team and our opportunities. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. You guys heard me say it here live. And if I say it, it's said. If I say it, it's done. You dig? Okay, so fire emoji. So let me scroll. And don't worry about it being intimidating, man. Like, you're a boss. Them lawyers aren't above you. They're your peers. They're just professionals just like you. So forget all that intimidation mess. I'll punch a lawyer in the face. No, let me stop. Jay Matthews. What's up, Jay Matthews with 2 T's? George Matthews with 1 T. Sagara and I cooked up some fire. Can't wait for you to hear it. Congrats, Sagara. You've been working your butt off. So fire emojis to Jay Matthews for cooking up. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. He was active, man. It might not seem like a lot to some people, but he got some music done this week. There's people out there that couldn't get the stuff done that they wanted to do because they had to do some stuff. Life stepped in the way and got in the way of them making music, got in the way of them submitting music, got in the way of them watching the YouTube videos or whatever. So if you guys were able to get something done in the midst of life, being life, doing what life does, we celebrating that, man. Fire emojis, fire emojis. Nothing little. There's no little wins here. So Garrett Production says Jay and I are going to end up making like 20 albums. Man's a beast. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm scrolling now. I'm seeing just nothing but just fire emojis on my timeline on the line here, and I love it. I love it. So we're still in the win section. Thank you. It's been a good challenge, but I've been enjoying it. I like to see, okay, so you guys are talking to each other. So we're going to look for some more wins here. I'm waiting for some more wins. Let me look up something real quick. You guys tripping on how, why is that both on my timeline? You guys tripping on how crispy this is? I'm making a note real quick because we're about to get into the actual live. Some of you guys actually popped in here. I thought you guys were going to have to wait till next week because not enough people were going to come in here. But we got a few of you in here, thank goodness. So, but it's not a bunch of like crazy detailed stuff today. We're not getting into into the meat of the sandwich, so to speak, because this is the first one and we're gonna build it up. I'm happy about this YouTube platform. Shout out to Excalibur Zero. I'm gonna be reaching out for some help from you guys, man. Help me build up my following on here. Let me turn this. Ooh, look at all that light. Jesus Christ. Okay, so there we go. So I'm still looking for the wins. Yeah, Jay Matthews, Jay Matthews. Okay. So, all right. So let's just get into it. So the winds of slowdown, let's get into it. Okay. So basically, the first topic for the live today is the current state of synchronization. What companies are looking for right now, what music supervisors are looking for right now, a little forecast of what's coming, and what you guys should be focused on. I don't want you guys just like randomly making music with no direction. I want you guys making music that we know is being sought after. So your chances of getting the music actually placed, picked up somewhere is higher. And so without further ado, the current state of sync. I should have a little, dun, 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 a little intro right here. Now I'm not gonna make my channel corny like that. But so basically in a nutshell, I touched on it a little bit ago, man. It's with instrumentals, you kind of wanna do your due diligence with each individual company you plan on sending music to, and just kind of look at what they're placing, what they're using. Look at the TV shows that you want to get music to. Look at what they're placing, what they're using. But if you're not doing that, if you're time crunched or whatever, you don't have time to really do all of that due diligence. Stick with, okay, and this is what's trending. Okay, with instrumentals, it's pretty much always the same. Okay, if there's a special event, some kind of sport event, like March Madness came and they were asking for that, so that was a specialty thing. But for the most part, instrumentals, you want to stay mid to up tempo, energetic. Okay, if you're doing instrumentals, you really want to be in that tension cue category. Okay, meaning that there's all, put it this way, the vast majority of music that's used on television are instrumental tension cues. Like say like probably 80-20, educated guess, about 80% to 20% full songs on television. Okay, might be a little less, give or take. So the need for instrumentals on television is never going to go away. The thing is that you guys are battling with these big libraries that have, I just saw uh one library yesterday, 300,000 tracks they were talking about. Another one was talking about they had 1 million tracks. Now, keep in mind, these libraries don't just boast that they have a lot of music, but the way that they are able to license that music out makes it extremely effective and convenient for their clients and customers. So usually there's an online platform, a website for the client to have their own private login and password, and they're able to go in and use hashtag keywords and search for whatever type of music that they want. That's one of the reasons Smash Coast as a company deviated from instrumentals, because just plain, we couldn't compete with the libraries, man. You could go to a library and say, I want, 1940s, you know, music that they dance to the Charleston to or whatever. Like you could ask for what you want from a big enough library, and they're just gonna have a bunch of music in there that us as a small boutique company, we're just not gonna have. We'll be able to source it over time, but like I tell you guys, there's always a time sensitive thing when it comes to procuring music for sync, and you always want to make it easy for the potential client or your client or customer. So the fact that these libraries have these platforms where the client can just go in without it, they don't have to email anybody, they don't have to do anything. They can just go in and grab the music and be on their way. Makes it convenient. It's hard to compete with that. Now, I will say though that right now, currently, Smash Coast is in the process of putting together our own digital library, our own site. Same situation. It's not that we're quote unquote becoming a library, because we're not. We're always going to be a boutique company that specializes in indie music, specializes in custom music, bespoke music, specializes in urban music. But at the same time, we are a company that has to be concerned about our clients and customers, and we want to service them all to the best of our ability. A lot of our clients love us because of the personal attention they get. They love to, hit us up and go back and forth in email. A lot of the work that we get is brief based work. So there's a lot of going back and forth. There's a lot of, details and changes and edits and that kind of thing. And we love that. We love being in the trenches. But then there's a lot of customers or potential clients that we have or could have that don't want to do that, or their situation moves faster. See what I'm saying? So they might want a situation where they could just log in somewhere, jump in somewhere, grab your music, and be able to get it out and place it or whatever. So that's what we were doing, trying to compete with these libraries, man. So I say all that to say I'm not trying to discourage you guys from making instrumental music because the libraries have more music. No, I'm saying that if you guys are doing instrumental music, make sure that you guys are making what's needed, and make sure that you guys are promoting yourselves as specialists of that music. You know, if your main thing is tension cues, if you're going to be doing instrumentals for the most part, then when you're marketing yourself, you want to make that entity believe that like you do this, right? You might not have the biggest resume to back it up, but when you're talking to yourself, people, I mean, when you're talking about yourself, people listen to what you're saying about yourself. So in your marketing, say that you specialize in, you know, tension cues. You specialize in creating music that creates a mood or a vibe for visual media. Um, and you say these things, you say you're a specialist. No one likes a jack of all trade. I just went through submissions this week in the Smash Coast email, tons and tons of submissions. 99% of them got, you know, a bunch of submissions that were like very unprofessional, a bunch of people sending um um attachments and that kind of thing. Um, and then people basically sending instrument, you know, wanting to do instrumentals and not really paying attention to, you know, the game where they're sending the music. They're just like basically pitch it in the dark. Let me get this music and pitch it. No, do your due diligence. Okay. Find out where your music is needed. Pitch yourself as a professional. Like I said in the email, I got a lot of people that's like, hey, I can do this and this and this. One guy was like, you know, I create everything. I could do everything. I could do every genre, whatever. Well, we don't want that. If you can do every genre, you might be dope as hell at all those genres, right? But when you're hiring somebody to come, you know, clean the pipes, the pipes in your house or mow your lawn, you want a specialist. You want a plumber to come over. You don't want the guy that says, "Hey, I know how to use a plunger." You want the guy to come over that's going to do the job. And that's with everything. If you could afford to have a professional in your life for everything that you do, professional mix engineer, professional this, professional tailors, professional dry cleaners, like you'd have a professional in place of everybody that you have doing what you have doing now if you have the opportunity to do that. So these companies definitely would want to work with a professional uh music producer, a professional um creator versus someone who's a jack of all trades. You know, you might not be good at some of them things if you say you're good at everything. You got to be great at something. And if you want to be that go-to person, um you know, me included, I'm gonna want somebody great. I want somebody that's dope. I don't want somebody that's a jack of all trades. I can do everything. And to be honest with you, it kind of has a sense of desperation. I can feel a, you know, like I'll do anything. I can do anything. I can sweep. I can mop. I can do backflips. I could like that's not what we want, man. This is the television film industry. It's a, you know, I don't even know when it was established, many dozens of years ago, whatever. But it's a career that you're after. You're not just trying to get placements. You're trying to be in a place where synchronization is your career, right? So just like if you are handing your resume to someone to go get a regular job somewhere, you know that resume is supposed to be as impressive as possible. You want to show those degrees on there. You want to show how long you were working at those other jobs, and then you want to really detail how valuable what your skill set is and how valuable you were to those other employers and this and that. It's the same thing in your marketing. Um, Market yourself as a professional, whether you're doing instrumentals, anytime you're trying to get into the sync space, if this is what you want to do, market yourself as a professional and zero in on a style, a style or a genre that you know you kick butt in, and tell people this is what I do. I'm a specialist at this. And then, you know, you might think that, well, this is going to limit my chances. So say like if I make, you know, high energy you know, trap music or whatever, but I want to get music on these shows or whatever, like, nah, man, you use your specialty, because this is what happens 100% of the time. You use your specialty to get in the door, right? That's gonna make, you know, the people like their ears perk up when it's like, okay, this guy specializes. How do you get to those people? You do your due diligence. So if you specialize in sports music, you make sure that you're only sending your music to people that do sports. You don't just send it to everybody. I had a guy that was on the team that was just like, he was sending music to us and he was sending music to everybody, and then other companies were sending us briefs or sending us it was crossing wires, I forget, but they're crossing wires. So we had to let him know, like, we're getting contacted by people that you've sent your music to, not knowing that we have your music as well. So Don't just whore yourself out and just send your music everywhere. Aim to where you think you're going to have the most success and value, and market yourself in a way to where you have high value. Don't be a jack of all trades. So going back, didn't mean to run my mouth on that tangent, but going back to the trends, if you're doing instrumental, mid to up tempo stuff, specialize in something, keep it energetic. Remember, you're trying to smack somebody's ears as soon as you hear it. Um, if you can do other stuff, once you get into a situation and you start to build that relationship based on you being a specialist, 100% of the time they're going to come to you for other stuff, right? And that's all relationship based. And how it usually works is, okay, so you'll get in the door, right? You're doing your thing, you're placing your specialty. Okay. So when that entity, that music super, that person gets an opportunity, for a high-end placement, okay, they're paying $7,500 for this placement. Or I have an opportunity that's, whatever, for whatever the opportunity is. Rather than go out back to the streets or go out to their normal sources, they're going to go hit up the people that are close to them, that they really rock with. Oh, my neighbor's nephew does music. I'm close to them. Maybe let's see if I can give him a shot. When there's really money to be paid, they don't just pay money out to anybody. They pay money to the people that A, have proven they can do the work, and B, they've gotten relationships with. They've built the relationships with. So you get in and you specialize and you kick butt and you do your thing. And I know you can do all of these genres. You're dope at pop, you're dope at hip hop, you're dope at all these things or whatever. This will come out. Once you get in the door as a specialist, they're going to know you have a high degree of talent because you're a specialist at what you do, right? It's like being a brain surgeon. A brain surgeon is like, yeah, it is dope as brain surgeon, but a brain surgeon can also be a general practitioner doctor too. You go and they can do everything underneath a brain surgeon. See what I'm saying? So once you specialize, of course, it's going to be assumed that you can do other things, but they don't want a jack of all trades. But once you get in there and you prove your worth, they're going to come to you for those other things. They're going to be like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah. And then you can jump in, and now you're in there cooking with gas. You're doing your thing. And so, but I don't want you guys to fall through the cracks, hitting up companies saying, I can do everything. Because that's what the vast majority of the people that don't know sync are saying when they submit music. If you know the sync game, if you know the hustle and you know sync, you're not saying that. You're not hitting people up saying that you can do everything. You have already done your due diligence. You're probably hitting somebody up that needs a specific type of music that you do specifically, and you're aiming. You're not just throwing something up against the wall and hoping it sticks. You're aiming something. So 100% of the time, you are going to get more opportunities to show what you're able to do, to really show that you can get down like that. So don't worry about the whole specialization thing, but it makes perfect sense. And this is the way that you get in the game faster, is that you promote yourself of having higher value when you're first marketing yourself to people. You don't have to have a long resume of placements and all of that. Pardon this screen or whatever. I'll figure this out later. Okay. So that was there. The current state of sync for instrumentals. Okay, so for full songs, okay, which is where we specialize. If you guys are creating music for sync, right, or creating music, you recording artists out there, there's two types of recording artists, and I've covered it on here before. There's one, I'll call them the artistic recording artist, that makes music that comes from them, and they're releasing music uh based from their own situations, experiences, and this and that, and they're trying to gain popularity. And this is what they do. They're artistic, so they're dropping music, and they'll also submit these songs that they're dropping, for sync situations. And a lot of time, it works. The music supervisors and companies, yeah, they're very adamant about the fact that they're looking for a recording artist. They're looking to be a part of that person's journey, and really, they want to be able to help blow them up, like that Deal with God song that was in Stranger Things, that was made back in the 80s, and it blew them up, over that 3-4 month period where they made a few $1 million, because of that. And see, that happened organically. That happened because the music supervisor just dug the song. But once it happened like that, and it was like, damn, like, we didn't realize it was going to blow up like that, it immediately became a blueprint for music supervisors and stuff. They're like, okay, not only does it bring a lot more notoriety and attention to the show, But it gives a lot of props to the person who picked the music. Like, who picked this? Oh, okay, now you know, you might not have really had a great ear, but you picked this great song that blew up on this show. Like, now you're the man or you're the woman, you know what you're doing. So there's just a bunch of pluses for doing this. But going back to what I was saying, is like, yeah, now it's a blueprint. So they are definitely looking for you if you're an indie artist and you're putting out music. Yes, put out your music, sync your music. Then there's another type of artist, the type that we really love over here now. We love them all, but we really, really love this second type of artist. Taekwon, can you? Oh, he left the damn room. I thought you was in here, man. Um, he was in the room with you. So Taekwon is one of those type of artists. Simultaneously, he's making the artistic stuff. He's putting music out, you know, from his heart and his experiences or whatever. But he also creates music specifically for sync. Okay. So he's making music for sports. He's making music for holidays, you know, Christmas EP. You know, he's making music for special occasions. You know, he's making music with the idea that there is an actual client and a customer that could need this music. He's making a product, you know. So the artistic person, they don't have the mindset that they're creating a product per se, you know, that they're more um you know, artistic, and there's nothing wrong with that. Those songs get plays. Deal with God wasn't made for sync, you know, and it still made that, forget the artist name, that's my bad, but it still made them a few $1 million over like a 3-month period. um and and it was a good thing. And so for artists, as far as the current state in sync, I would say same thing: mid to up tempo, energetic, feel good. We get asked for a lot of music from back in the day, like the 2000s era, because you know, with urban stuff, this is the era of, like, you know, Ludacris, Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott. There was a lot of fun music back then, like a lot of fun music. The fun stuff, the mid to up tempo stuff, the general topic stuff, you know, we party on the weekend, have fun, you know, that kind of stuff is super placeable because there's always a club scene in something, there's always a bar scene in something. The energy in the music is always smacking somebody in the ear when they hear it. They'll want to place that music when they hear it, because it just fits. Genre doesn't matter if you're doing pop, if you're doing hip hop, if you're doing, you know, even R&B stuff. I'm hearing a lot of slow R&B, good music. But the thing is that, you know, I'm not saying that that the slow stuff and the lower tempo stuff isn't placeable, because everything gets placed at some point. But as you guys are in the beginning of the game, you guys are starting off your sync journey. The key is to get in and get as high up as fast as you can. And it's a slow boil. Like, this is a marathon, not a sprint, the sync thing. So you can't rush it. But there are things that you can do to make your hustle move, you know, faster. So that's, you know, paying attention to what is actually needed and creating what's needed versus just making stuff and hoping that it places. So for the full songs, mid to up tempo, pay attention to the holidays, pay attention to the special events. Keep it popping. All you music producers out there, if you're not working with artists, you see here in this community, we collab a lot. I love the sync hustle mindset lives, because as you see, if you go through the chat here, everybody knows each other for the most part. You guys are collabing, making music, and just know nobody can do it alone, right? We all need each other's help in order to be successful in this sync thing, to get to where we're trying to go. And we can all help each other get there, because there's enough bread, enough opportunities for everybody. There's, you know, 500 shows on TV right now that need music. There's films being made. There's, you know, video games and companies that need music. You know, so the opportunities are endless, but we can't do it by ourselves. We have to do it as a community. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Again, with the full songs, if you have any doubt about what kind of stuff to make, if you're trying to aim towards sync, generally you could just look at the Billboard Top 100. You know, whatever's popping on there. And I'm not talking about the ignorant stuff. I'm not talking about the, you know, uh, um, uh, circling the block, or the ops, or or if you're a female rapper and nobody's interested in you talking about the bag, and you know, and f these n words, like, you know, we need real music. That's why I say, when usually when we're asked for hip hop stuff like that, they revert back to like the 90s and 2000s, because that's when there was a lot more diversity in hip hop. There was a lot more choices of what kind of stuff that you wanted to listen to. Like, we had everything from Souls of Mischief, Tribe Called Quest, to Nas, to, Biggie to Mobb Deep to, like, we could go on and on and on. So when they're actually looking for music, they tend to look for music from these time periods because the music is more fun. There's there's more of it. They already are familiar with it. They knew what Ludacris was talking about. They knew if it's a Missy, and Missy's slick with it because Missy could be talking about um some nasty stuff like Megan does, like, work it. Is it worth it? Let me work it. Find out how hard I gotta work. She's talking about his penis. It's like, come on now. The whole song is talking about how she would have do stuff and talking about his anatomy and stuff like that. But she did it in such a slick, cool way. We don't even really realize that. A lot of Missy stuff is like that. Very, very nasty. She talked nasty to us, but it's on it's got that energy and this and that. And she wasn't raunchy with it like Meg is. Meg is raunchy, she'll just say straight up. And so so it's all about a vibe, right? So you're trying to present and promote a vibe when you're turning in this music, right? And that's the reason why they tend to go towards this time period, is because that time period, as far as urban music, was just way more vibey, and there was way more stuff. So if you're making full music, uh even if it's not urban music, if you're making dance music, it's energetic. If you're making pop music, make it energetic. Don't make it too personal. Make the more general the topic, the more they can fit it into stuff. If you're talking about how I got cheated on by this dude, and it was on a Tuesday night, and he pulled up in a blue car and picked me up, and it was raining and this and that, like, that's way too many specifics for a song. And it's going to be hard to place that, like, okay, well, we need a scene that was raining, and we need somebody talking about this and that or whatever. So you kind of gotta, like, keep it general if you can. But that's it. That's the state of sync right now as far as instrumentals and full songs. It's not very uh difficult per se. Just pay attention. And if you have any doubt, like I said, with the full songs, just look at the Billboard Top 100. Look at the stuff that you can do as far as creating songs, is energetic, feel good type stuff, and just create like that, and just keep going and keep going. If you're not used to doing it, just jump in the pool, man, and just start doing it. Okay. You're gonna get dope at it eventually. Creating for certain situations, creating for sports or whatever. Look, everything that I know how to do now, I didn't know how to do in 2003 when I moved back out here to LA. Okay. I didn't know how to run a company. I didn't know how to set up an LLC. All I knew how to do was make music. See what I'm saying? Um, but I wasn't scared, and I always want to learn. So the same thing with you guys, man. There's nothing to be scared of, nothing to be nervous about or whatever. If it's something that you're not used to doing, just jump in, learn it, get it done and get it popping. So with all that being said, that's the state of sync. Put a 1 in the comments right now if you're with me so far on this inaugural YouTube. I'm still tripping out on how crispy this is. Uh, Very, very dope. So give me a 1 in the comments if you're with me so far. Oh, and it happens faster too. I think there's a longer delay on Instagram because you guys are popping it in here real quick. Okay. This set is going to change. This thing right over here that I'm pointing to, this here, that's that's a heat press. That's for making t-shirts and stuff. I told you this was a lab for making stuff, not just music. Jay Matthews put the word 1. He got jokes. Everybody's with me. So, okay, sound is okay. Everything is going cool. Okay, let me go back through the comments real quick so I don't miss anything. Nice setup, Miss. Missy is a genius. Absolutely. Gotta throw away my thong song. Yeah, man. Well, now you can put it out. See, that's the thing, too. Another thing, going back before we go into the next topic. If you guys are making music that isn't, technically appropriate for sync, if you guys are doing stuff like that, I know you're joking, Revision, probably, so, but if you guys are making raunchy music, dirty versions of stuff that really wouldn't go for sync, I'm not going to discourage you from doing that. What I will encourage you to do is, if you're doing something, go hard at whatever you're doing. Okay. So if you're putting music out that you're not doing for sync, go hard, put that music out, promote that music, do visuals to that music, because it's all going to help you with your popularity, help your numbers, and it's going to bring attention to you. And the reason I say that, if you follow the live, that when we were on Instagram, you guys already know that I preach very hard about the fact that these companies, these music supervisors, these gatekeepers are combing your social media looking for potential people to work with. They're looking for you. I do the same thing. You know, I went through submissions yesterday. It was like 60 submissions in there. They were horrible. Okay. I really get my hopes up when I go to open the submission email because I'm looking for people. I don't look at the submissions unless I'm looking for people. So when I go through the submissions and I'm like, okay, 60 submissions, there were 2 people we emailed back and start that process, but I still need some people. So what do? I hop on social media and I start combing through, and I look at, my rule is I look at your first 6 posts on Instagram, especially. I look at the 6 posts, so it'll be all right there, 6 posts. If I look at your title, it look at your name, and it says like music producer or videographer or whatever it is you say you do. If I look at your first 6 posts and you're not doing that, then done. Okay. I don't even know if these music supervisors in these companies are giving you 6 posts. They might just cruise and look at the first couple posts and be like, oh, you're on some bullshit, and then bounce. Right. So how you're marketing yourself and promoting yourself is very, very important. If you're putting out music, you're being active in social media. So put that music out, market yourself. It might not be the most syncable thing, but like I say, these music supers and these companies are looking for you. So the fact that you're actively putting out music might just be enough for them to contact you and say, hey, I heard your single called, My Booty Go Hard, or My Thong Too Tight, or whatever crazy title, crazy, nasty crap you put out, but it was bumping, right? Can you put together something for this show? Can you do something? Da, 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 da. You're putting yourself out there, right? So go ahead and put yourself out there. Don't be scared. I don't like when people put out music and they half-ass it, right? If you're gonna do it, do it. Commit to what you're doing and put that music out there because everybody's paying attention. Okay, so let me go through real quick. So you can definitely keep your thong song, man. Drop that thong song. Let's see the video. Let's go. Let's go. So I'm scrolling down. Sound and visual is on point. Thank you, Reza. I don't want to hear Revision talk about his thong. Hey, some people do though. I don't particularly, but that's what I'm saying. The whole thing is that if you make music, somebody gonna want to hear it. I don't care how crazy it is. You got fans out there. So put that music out, and it might not be the music that's placeable, but it still could lead you towards getting some placements if that's what you want to do. Be active, man. Everybody's looking. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Just be active. Everybody's looking. We are all looking. Jay Matthews, you hilarious, bro. We know you joking, man. Okay, so this is a juicy topic. We're going into the next one. The next one we're going into, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to real brief because we could actually have a whole live about this, but I've been experiencing it myself here for the last couple months. Kim and I have been going hard with it, and that is AI, artificial intelligence. Okay. Now, we're not going to talk about the elephant in the room, which is AI going to replace me? Is AI going to be making music better than I can make music and this and that? The short of that is like, yeah, absolutely. It's artificial intelligence, man. We're talking about supercomputers and that kind of thing. So absolutely, yes. AI will definitely be able to make, let me go back. Let me step back a little bit. Okay. So a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I submitted to be, probably like a month ago, one of the people that got to test out Google LM first, right? So Google LM is a text to music AI thing. And you guys heard me say this before, just bear with me. Okay. So I got on the thing. I was on it for like 3 days, right? And I'm being real basic with it. Give me a trap beat, 140 beats per minute, booming 808, catchy melody, right? And it spit something out, right? And of course it sucked, right? But then, I'm listening with my producer ear and I'm like, okay, so there's elements of this that don't suck. Okay. The drums are smacking, right? So, but the whole melody situation was crappy as hell. And you could tell it's AI because it didn't even sound like a human was like doing it. It wasn't even like following the rules of like, music per se or whatever. So I was like, well, let me prompt it, get a little bit more detail with the prompt and see if I could get better results out of it. And the more detail that I gave it, the better the results. Now, keep in mind, it never did spit anything out that was like, oh crap, I'm worried. It didn't do that. But it's AI. And so in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, it might very well be doing that. A couple of the tracks that it spit out even had vocals, like background, like vocals, like wasn't saying words, but just like vocal, you know, stabs or whatever in it. And I didn't ask it to do it. And it was very impressive that it did that. Okay. So the thing is I wasn't tripping on the fact that wasn't creating dope music. I was tripping on the fact that I'm sitting here typing something and it's spitting music back out at me. Okay. Music, I might add, that even though I feel like it sucked because I'm a dope producer, it's better than like if a person just started doing music, started producing or whatever, like it's there, like it had it structured. Even though the music sucked, it still had like separate sections and that kind of stuff or whatever, where AI has has done it. Oh, thank you, Jay Matthew. Jay, this is definitely going to be up on the channel, man. So just come back and you won't miss anything. So shout out to Jay Matthews, man. He got to get back. So I shouldn't have looked down, so then I got off or whatever. So yeah, I was using the Google LM, right? And so the whole thing is that yeah, AI is coming. So don't worry about the fact that if AI is going to make music better than you or not. Yes, it absolutely is. The thing that we have in our favor as people that create music for sync is that these companies that are taking our music in are old companies, okay, just like the record labels, and they're antiquated, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it attitude. They're already making a bag, right? So in order to implement AI correctly, for them to just change over and start using AI to create music and leave us in the dust type of situation, they basically got to break their whole company down, to the point to where there's layoffs, and they got to change their whole infrastructure. And there's certain things they can implement on small levels as far as AI, but as far as what we're concerned about as creatives, are they going to come in and start just making music and replacing us and using that music or whatever? They could do that. Like on the technical end of things, yeah, it's very, very possible that they could do something like that. But because these companies are antiquated, they're not going to do that. They're not going to break nothing down. It's the same thing I told you guys last week talking about uh, when Napster was coming to the music industry, and they were trying to tell the music industry it's coming, and the music industry was like, we're not paying attention to what you're talking about because we're already making a bag right now. Well, the structure, the business structure, how things are going with these music libraries and these companies has changed over the past few years, especially since the pandemic. Say, for instance, uh, music libraries, the bigger music libraries aren't really licensing out single pieces of music anymore like they used to, getting, a per sync type of thing. They'll do a group thing where, like, before, say for instance, before Extreme Music joined Sony, in case you guys don't know, Extreme Music is now under Sony. They've partnered up, right? But before that, Extreme Music, Sony was a client of Extreme Music. Now, for years, they would just go and be like, okay, I want this song, I want these beats, these cues, or whatever, right? And they were doing the one-off syncs or whatever. And then somebody came up with the brilliant idea of just doing a one-time license to have access to the whole library. So instead of doing individual, and this sucks for the creative, so instead of just doing individual syncs, Sony was like, okay, I'll give you $300,000 to have access to your whole library for a 1-year period. And in that way, Sony can just go in now and just use all of Extreme's music, right? It's good for the people in Extreme because Sony is going to make sure they get their $300,000 worth or $200,000 worth or whatever. And it adds up too, because say, for instance, say that they were paying out sync fees, right? Say that they are paying, um, you know, $3,000 for a piece of music to sync it or whatever. So how many pieces of music is they going to be able to use to equal 200,000, right? So now they're not paying that money out. They're paying a one-time fee, right? And they're going to go in and dig that music, and they're going to dig that music, and they're going to get their money's worth. Now that 200,000, 300,000 that got paid to Extreme for access to their library or Jingle Punks or whatever library you might be a part of, you don't get any of that money. This is a deal that the library made with that label or that entity, based on the fact that they have your music in the catalog, right? Which gives the library value. That's why every time you hear a library talking, they're talking about how many titles they have, because this their power comes in how many titles they have, even more so than the placements that they're getting. They can have a placement resume, but it's really about boasting about how many titles that that they have, a lot of them or whatever. Um, so I don't want to get off track or whatever, but so yeah, those are the type of deals that are going on in the business now. A lot of these libraries aren't doing one-offs; they're just doing like, hey, give me a chunk of money and you can use the library, and then they'll renew in a year or whatever. Um, so going back to you guys making music for I'm sorry, I was looking at comments real quick. Making music for the libraries. Don't be discouraged. Like I said, you can't keep up with them. The way that you get around that is these companies aren't going to switch up their whole thing for AI. So they're not going to just put in AI systems and to cheat you out. Um, but to make sure that you stay in the game and you don't make them regret this decision, you do your due diligence when you're pitching music. And it all starts with you looking up the shows that have the music there. They're using the music that you specialize in, right? Then if it was me, I would actually go to IMDb once I found those shows and I'd find that music supervisor, right? That I know I'm going to contact. um, I would definitely go watch the hell out of those shows that music supervisor is working on, so I would know what I'm talking about. And then all of this stuff leads you to the initial email. When you go talk to them in the initial email, you can, it's all genuine. You're not fake. You're not copy and pasting an email. You've done your due diligence on this particular entity, right? And so you go talk to them. Hey, so and so, great luck on your third season. Your second season is Stranger Things. You know, episode 9 with the such and such, blew me away. you know Real quick, just a little tiny something that's real and genuine, that lets them know that you're not just, hi, I do everything, please place my music. That you're not just sending music to just anybody. It makes them feel like, okay, they're talking to me, they're not just talking at me, they're talking to me, right? And you get in there, and now the email is it's more personal. You just haven't just hit them up about anything. And then you get into your, my name is, I specialize in, keep it real short. Here's a link to my music. Here's another thing that happened in the submissions, right? Okay, now keep in mind the Smashco site has a submission email, right? So if you hit up somebody's submission email, submit. You don't hit a submission email and then ask to submit music. So I had several people hitting the email like, hi, my name is such and such. I see that this is a submission email. You know, um, you should have done your due diligence beforehand. Okay. Is it okay if I send you guys a link to my music? Delete. I don't have time for that. I was looking at 60, 70 emails at the time that I got this email. I was trying to listen to music, right? So I don't mean to, I digress. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but it happens. Um, so, but as far as the AI I digress. Going back to the AI. Okay. So don't worry about AI replacing you. It's not going to replace you. What you do need to do, okay, as far as AI is concerned, is you need to be using every AI tool that's available right now to your advantage. Quite a few of the posts that you see, if it's a meme style post, or if you see a photograph with words on top of it, um, AI did that. Okay, I'll tell AI what to do. Like, say the day before yesterday, I got on Chat GPT and I was like, you are a social media expert. Are you familiar with this website? And I took the Canva URL and I put it in Chat GPT. Are you familiar with this website? GPT says, yes, I'm very familiar with Canva. And it goes on to tell me about Canva, right? What Canva is and what it does. And I was like, okay, great. Um, Create 10 social media posts with the intent to drive followers to my page or your page and drive engagement. I want the post to touch on the importance of music licensing and the benefits of music licensing and the importance of staying in the game until you achieve success, right? Then, once you create these posts, I want you to create 10 prompts, one for each post, that I could drag into Canva's text to image feature. That I don't even know if you guys knew Canva had a text to image feature. Not the best. It's not like DALL-E yet, but it's cool for a good start. Because I'm trying to see if I can streamline my social media situation. So I was like, give me 10 prompts, one for each that I could drag and da da da. So it did it. It spit out the post, boom, with the hashtags and everything, right? and then it spit out the prompt. So all I had to do was open up Canva, right? Open up a thing, and then open up a square for my Instagram post, um, do a background. So I copy the prompt and I put it in Canva, it spits out 4 pictures. Okay. And I think the first one was like the first post it said was something to the effect of um, you know, because it's based, I told it to like make it to where you don't want to quit. So it said something to the effect of like synchronization opens many doors of opportunities for you. So Canva tried to make a picture of a key, I guess, to open doors. It was a picture of a key, a gold key, and then on the head of the key, it had a music note, right? So it was basically trying to say, I'm blown away because this is AI trying to tell me, trying to interpret what I said, right? I ended up using a different picture or whatever. Um, but it did it, right? And so I went through, I did another one, went through, I did another one, right? And so it, Chat GPT spit out 10 posts for me. I was gonna do like 30, but I wanted to see how it did the first 10. Um, and it did it. And then the text to image thing, it worked. And I ended up getting a really good post out of it. So later on this evening, I'm gonna finish those all out, and then I'll have 10 posts for the next 10 posts, right? This is how you should be using artificial intelligence. I'm not even getting into the musical aspect of it yet because I haven't seen enough on the tool side for us to be able to like really get in and benefit, other than you see the AI elements in like ozone mastering. So it has an AI mastering assistant. You can just ask it to do that for you and it'll analyze your beat or whatever. So there are like elements of it, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about using AI for your marketing and promotion, because this goes back to what I was saying before. All of these companies and these entities are looking at you. Okay. So the more professional you look, the more consistent, the more you look like an entity that makes money, that does business versus just does music, um, the more your chances are that you're going to get approached by somebody that can pay you for your services, right? But you got to look the look, you got to look the part. This is where you use AI because a lot of us are busy as hell, especially me, man. I got this company and stuff, and not saying that you guys are any less busy than me, because you are, just as busy. So you use these tools to your advantage. Don't be scared of the tools, right? Because they're here. In the next 6 months, we're going to see a very, very drastic change of as far as how AI is used in our field, music creation, content creation, media as well, anything. So if you're one of those people that aren't techie and nerdy like I am and all into it or whatever, you might want to start getting into it, because it's going to affect you in a big way here really quickly. So, start YouTubing, man. Get out there and be nosy about it. Hit me with a 1 in the comments if you are with it so far. Hit me a 1 in the comments if we still with me so far. Still got a few of you in here. We're moving right along, man. We're gonna keep it going real quick. We're not that far from the end, man. We're more than halfway through. Nico, nice to see you. Gabby baby or Gabby baby, nice to see you. Gabby baby, nice to see you. These are new people. Follow, please. I'll follow you back. I don't think Isotope is AI. It's just a specialized music tool. Oh no, Isotope has a mastering element in it that will actually analyze and master where you don't have to do anything. That's artificial intelligence. If it's able to do this based on the fact that it has studied many mastered pieces of music before, and it can compare what it has done before, and in the process of creating a master for you. 100%. No, ozone is not AI. It's a regular tool, but that one piece of it, that in the mastering assistant, where you can just tell it to, master your session, that's AI driven, man. 100%. That's artificial intelligence, baby. I think the word AI is today taking any system and tools and recognize input and make customized out and calling AI. Nah, I agree with you. I haven't seen that personally being used too much. The times that I've seen AI being used, the term AI being used, it was for what it was supposed to be used for. But yeah, the mastering tool in Isotope Ozone is 100% artificial intelligence trained, because there's no way for it to know how to master without training it on a data set. It's not just going to automatically analyze your music and know what to do with it. It has to have information based on it, in order to do it right. Um, it even has a thing where you can drag in an MP3 and it'll study that MP3 and then spit out a master based on the parameters of that MP3. All of this stuff was trained on a data set. It was trained, and that's how AI is trained. I get what you're saying, though. It is overused or whatever, but in this instance, I have to disagree. So let me go through here. ChatGPT has been one of the most useful tools in the process so far, the journey so far. So, Gary, absolutely, you got to use it, man. Well, you don't have to, but you know. It seems like Segura says it seemed like Isotope was one of the first to the draw in terms of training using data sets. Exactly. As far as music production goes. Yeah, it's a big deal. And like I said before, a lot of these companies with their products, Native Instruments, so on and so forth, if it's not broken, don't fix it. They don't have to worry about it. But it's coming. It's unavoidable. Um, it's going to be coming to more and more aspects of our lives, especially when it comes to creating media, creating music, that kind of thing. So that's really all I wanted to say about AI. I'm not going to talk about, you know, I'm learning more every week. Like, I'm online learning more. I'm doing my studying and I'm using the tools. Um, I'm in that community. So as soon as I find out something that's beneficial to us as music creatives, I'm going to be right back on here talking about it. But it's coming like a freight train, man. People might say that we're exaggerating. It's not going to disrupt. It's going to be very disruptive, and I don't want people to get left behind in certain areas, right? So there it is there. So let me go to the let me go back down here. ChatGPT, like a personal tutor. Oh yeah, I use it all the time, man. Such an underrated gem. Thanks, Excalibur. Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, like, your journey, not just in sync, but as a music creative, is not just about you doing the music, right? You're trying to monetize what you're doing. You're trying to get an income for what you're doing. And in most cases, you want to not only supplement your income, you want your music to support you. So there's a whole host of things that you have to do besides the music, right? You are a company now. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but if you're trying to make music for free, then you're an artistic. Soon as you want 50 cents, a dollar for your music, it's business. Okay. So you can't not operate as a business and expect to get business like results. See what I'm saying? So these tools that are available, learn how to use these tools, implement them into your social media marketing. You're promoting yourselves. The way you look online is just as important as the way you sound once you start putting your music in people's ears or whatever. Because here's the thing, a person can have great music, right? Now, I'm putting myself in the shoes of a music supervisor. You think a music supervisor or a company that's using music actively just wants your one piece of music? You think that when you come through in that email and they hear that music and the music is good, they're not excited about that music? They're like, oh shit, this music's part of my friends. Oh shoot, I don't want to demonetize whatever. Uh, uh, Crap, this music is really, really good. Let me hit this person up, or let me go to their social media. They hear your music. The music is dope. You sent a great playlist in. Then they go to your social media, and the first post is you with, you know, why are they bothering Donald Trump? Why are they, how come, why they go down there in that damn submarine? Why did they, like, you're basically, your social media is not keeping up with what you're trying to do, right? So I know I've said this before, but like, they're looking. So it's very important that you make your look appealing. And there's no excuse these days. That's the reason why I'm ranting about it, because I could see if you didn't have like skills as far as like creating photographs for social media or this and that, but like, there, you might not be the most clever when it comes to wording things or that type of thing. So you kind of stay away from it. There's no excuses. You can go to Chat GPT and tell it, like, I don't know how to word stuff right. I need you to do this for me. And you talk to it like a person, you know, and you tell it, this is what I need you to do. This is why I need you to do it, you know, um, and it'll do it for you. And then you have apps like Canva, to where again, there's no excuses. If you don't know how to draw, you don't know how to create imagery for your posts, you can go there. There's a free account. You don't have to get the pro version, and you can just type in what you want. I'm not even talking about the text to image. I'm talking about their vast catalog of images and videos that you could use for free for your social media posts. So if you're walking around here with your social media looking crazy, there's no excuse for that, right? And artificial intelligence is a way that you can help, you know. At first, it would have just been these tools, like, okay, you can go to these tools and look for pictures or whatever. But now it's different. Like I said, you can go to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, you can just ask it, create me, I want to post something every single day, right? This is what I do. This is how I do it. This and that. Create 30 posts for me, and within 20 seconds it's going to spit those posts out. Then you can look at those posts and say, tell it, just make them shorter, make them more appealing, make them with the intent of driving followers to my page. My followers are low, and it's going to do that for you. So there's really no excuse. It's really just about you having a more entrepreneurial mindset, realizing that the landscape is bigger than you might be seeing than your vision is. A lot of us get like tunnel vision, when we make music. We're creators, and we're just worried about, are my 808 smacking? Is my mix good? Did they listen to my music? But there's like, it's a whole physical thing now. We're online. I'm talking to you guys with my face. You know what I'm saying? You guys are commenting on how crispy the camera looks and how colorful the background is and this and that. If I'd have popped on here and had subpar situation with the camera and the background was crazy, like, there's less believability. You guys might not really be paying attention to that kind of thing, but it hits you on a subconscious level. Shout out to all the advertising companies that understand how to market to our subconscious. That's a whole nother live stream we're going to be doing. But that's what I'm saying. You're affecting people on a subconscious level when they see, okay, they might not think, oh, the camera's this and that, and the colors and this and that, whatever. But quality when you see it. Your subconscious knows quality when you see it. So it's the same thing with your posts. Don't post low quality crap. There's no excuse for that. Don't post a bunch of stuff that has to do with nothing. Doesn't have to do with your your specialty or your wheelhouse or whatever, because that just takes away from your credibility and your believability. You want them to believe you. We don't know you. The only way for me to know, or anybody to know, that you're dope at what you're doing, that you're dedicated to what you're doing, that you're focused on what you're doing, is the consistency of your social media. Your social media is your resume, period. I don't care what nobody says. And so all of us aren't skilled as far as social media. I'm definitely not one. That's why my ass is on ChatGPT and using Canva, to the best of my abilities, because I don't know how to draw. I don't have time to sit there and word everything. I'll make sure that the words are genuine, that there's stuff that I would have said, or sometimes I'll edit it and I'll actually say some stuff in there. But if I'm trying to get a message to you guys, ChatGPT can convey my message for me in a way that I want to convey it way faster than I'm able to do it. I don't know how long it would take for me to sit here and post 30 social media posts, but I could just tell ChatGPT, this is what you do. You are a sync licensing professional, ChatGPT. This is your website. This is what you do. Create 30 posts for me, for your people. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is a whole thing, being able to prompt artificial intelligence in a way to get the best results out of it. This is a whole job. I posted it on my timeline the other day. They're going to be, the new positions are going to be called prompt engineers. So if you're able to talk to ChatGPT in a way, like I'm saying, get more detailed and get the best results out of it, they're talking about $250,000 to $400,000 a year to start, for people to get hired into companies that are AI driven companies, to be able to talk to these platforms and get the best out of them. So it's coming. Anytime they start talking about money numbers like that, you can best believe it's a wrap. It's coming. It's not no speculation or whatever. They're talking about how much money can be made. It's about to be in our backyard. So just be prepared for that. Use the tools to your advantage. Reach out to people. YouTube University. Now I'm on YouTube. So shout out to YouTube for this incredible platform, because I use it like crazy. I'm always looking at stuff. So just do that, man. So let me look at the topics here. I'm running through here. We're not that long. We're about to be done here. Um, and so here's another one. This is the last one, or second to last one. Uh, remaining focused. And I'm not gonna act like I'm your pops or nothing. I'm here scolding or whatever, but this goes again with what I was saying as far as your resume, right? Um, once you decided to embark on this sync mission, you're on a marathon, but it's cool because you're on a marathon with a finish line. There is a destination that you are trying to get to. Everybody's destination is different. Some of y'all want to be the kings of sync. You know, somebody you might want to end up being a music supervisor. Somebody want to score some video games, some films, whatever your the light at the end of your tunnel is. There is a tunnel and there is a light at the end of it, right? Which means there's a path that you're supposed to be taking. And once you embark on that journey, there's going to be a million things to pop in the way to get you off your square, man, to get you off of that journey. A lot of it has to do with this social media, the news, you know, uh, the news is a lot, social media and the current events is a lot, you know, is geared, the algorithms are geared to keep your engagement. So as soon as you look up something, or as soon as you search something or whatever, then that platform is going to just keep sending you that stuff, because the whole thing is to keep the phone in your hand. This is for the advertisers. As long as you have your phone in your hand looking at stuff, that means the advertisers have more opportunities to advertise stuff to you, and it's a big distraction. So if you're somebody that is hustling to the top like we're all doing, with no blueprint, one of the best things you can do is to avoid the distractions. You really have to be focused on what you're doing. And so what I do, because like I'm like everybody else, man, I'm on TikTok having fun. Like I look at TikTok, I post on TikTok, but I scroll on TikTok too much because TikTok is like great for ADDs, fast ass videos. Every video is totally different. It's not like just sending you stuff it thinks you want to see. Like you'll see some crazy stuff on there. But it's distracting as hell, right? So I put a thing on my phone. Well, there's a thing on my phone that monitors all my social media use and will let me know when I've been on there past my limit. I set a limit for myself, and I stick by it. Oh yeah, I've been on here too long. And it'll show me, you were this week you were on social media 23 minutes longer than you were supposed to. Okay. And so I'll make sure that if I'm on social media for that amount of time, I'm using it the way I'm supposed to use it, which means I'm looking for potential clients or customers. I'm looking for people to be, bring on the smash codes, and I'm being productive and I'm not being distracted. If I hop on TikTok, I'm going to be distracted as hell. You might see somebody. I popped on there this morning and there was a person on a treadmill with no arms and no legs running on a treadmill. Like, TikTok is so random. Like, and I would never look for nothing like that, but I'm scrolling and I'm like, oh damn. Like, and then that made me look at the whole video. The video was like a minute long. That's a minute out of my life that I could have been looking for one of you guys, or looking for something to help you guys get a placement, or looking for something to better myself or whatever. Now I say all this to say we're human, have fun, take the time to have fun or whatever, but realize that you guys are on a mission. You guys have that light at the end of the tunnel you're trying to get to. So don't get distracted. Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Communities like this are dope because you guys all network with each other. It puts a lot of pressure on you when you have a project to do with somebody. You don't really have time to mess around. So the fact that I see you guys in the comments, you guys are networking, you're creating music together. God, my lips done got dry. You're creating music together. It's keeping you busy and it's keeping you away from the stuff that can, distract you away from your goals, right? So stay diligent. I know that was corny, that whole section about, I know it was corny, but it needs to be said because there's a lot of distraction going on out there, and I'm focused as hell and I still get distracted sometimes. So I know if it happens to me, it happens to you guys. Every step you take is important. Every little bit of time that you have is important, that you use it to the best of your ability, especially when we're trying to hustle to the top. There's no blueprint for this, right? So, and it's 100% relationship based. The people that see you on social media, whatever you're projecting on social media, we believe you. So if you're posting a bunch of crap that has nothing to do with your specialty, okay, we believe you. Okay. If you are like, say, Excalibur Zero, for instance, and you are on your game, we believe you. Okay. So all of you guys, I've done this exercise before. So all of you guys on the live right now, you know, don't listen to what I'm saying. I've looked at everybody's damn near social media. I'm not going to judge. Look at your own social media when you get off of here or over the weekend. Look at your own social media. I would advise you look at the first five, six posts, step outside of yourself, and you ask yourself, by looking at those six posts, am I an entity that is worthy of someone approaching me to pay me something for my music, pay me something for my services? Do I look like money? Do I look professional? Do I look like someone that is going to work in the long term? Because see, that's the difference. Okay. A person might open up an email and like your music, right? And be like, okay, I would love to have this music in this person. But when they go to your social media, okay, your social media is going to determine in a large part whether you're someone that's going to be around for the long term, because no one wants to get your music one time. If we open up an email, if a music supervisor sees your stuff and the music is great, what we want is somebody that we don't have to keep looking for music like this. See what I'm saying? If we found somebody that makes it dope for our show or for our library, for whatever it is, um we want you. You know, the music is like great and everything, but it's you who we're working with. And so we want that long-term commitment from you, to where I don't have to keep digging through social media in 6 months. I got a team of people that, you know, that gets it or whatever. So if I don't know you and haven't spoken to you, the main way that I'm going to get to know that is go to your social media and check out what you're posting, right? And if I see bull crap, then I'm going to believe it. So there it is there. There it is there for the social media, for the AI. I know might have disappointed you guys on the excuse me, burping, on the whole AI thing, but I didn't really want to get into the meat of the sandwich this week, because I'm actually going to do another whole AI live just on artificial intelligence. So we'll go into, you know, way deeper into the aspects of, you know, pertaining to how we can use it. You know, I'll even have some examples of music that AI has created, so you can hear what it's doing if you guys haven't went and checked it out yourself or whatever. But I just wanted to touch on it and let you know that that's where my head is. And you guys be focused on it too, man, because there's some incredible tools that we can use. And I want you guys to be using them. Um, and with that, I'm going to go to the last topic, which is relationship building and maintenance. Okay. Um, and again, I don't really have to say a lot about that, because if you guys are disciplined, okay, which means that you guys are dependable as far as your social media posts, okay, we know what you guys are posting. You guys are staying on topic. You guys are looking like professionals. Um, you guys are already building relationships you guys don't even know yet, right? Because like I say, people are looking. The people that can pay you, the people that can give you that leg up, that opportunity, they're looking, right? So this is the very, very, very first part of the relationship building process. Before anyone even contacts you, before you even speak to anybody, um, I don't care how good your music is, man. You could be the best of the best of the best of the best and sync, just like a lot of time in the record labels, it's like 99% relationship based. Maybe not as much at the beginning, where they're taking gratis, you know, they're taking your music for free and you're getting paid on the back end only, a lot of reality stuff or whatever. But as soon as you get to the point to where, say, like someone is sending you a brief, and I'm not talking third party, I'm talking about that company, that music supervisor is sending you a brief in the email, that says a lot. For you to get a brief, that means that the trust level is there. That means that they're seeing you more like a peer. That means that you've gotten to a certain place in the game as far as your relationship, because once they're sending a brief to someone, that means that there's a need. There's a time crunch. They need that music in a certain amount of time. There's a client maybe that needs that music, something specific or whatever. So whoever's sending you the brief, their ass is on the line. They have a show commitment that needs to be taken care of. They have a client that's asking for something. So for them to send it to you and be like, okay, you help me get this done for this client or for this situation, that's all relationship stuff. They don't do that. They don't send you a brief unless they trust you, right? And the trust is built not just on what your interaction is with that person, but what you're doing without that person. If I look on your social media and I'm like, hey, this person is on there, like, say Excalibur Zero. This is the first time like we've really like had a back and forth like this. He's on my live. I follow him. He just started following me. You know, we haven't interacted yet. We're going to. I see us. We're going to do some great things together. But I don't know him, right? So in order for me to see what he's about, I go to his social media, right? He's never sent me music. I've never gotten an email from him. We've never talked or whatever. So let me see what he's about. So I go to his social media, I'm scrolling, I'm like, okay, right. This is relationship building because when I go to his social media, I see what he's posting. Okay, he's making music. I see what his platform is. This is something I can relate to. I'm in the same space or whatever. So if I reach out to him, we're already at a certain level. Same thing with him and me. He comes to my platform, he sees what I'm about, he sees what I'm posting. So he already knows it's at a certain level. So when we meet, when we talk, we've already like, it's already like we've had conversations. See what I'm saying? I didn't have to ask him, hey, what you be doing, man? You know, what you be into, what's your thing? He didn't have to ask me, hey, what you be into? You make music or you got what you doing or whatever. We checked each other out online. We already know that there's a certain respect level because of what we're doing, what we're posting, what we see of each other. This is our resume, our calling card. So when we speak, we already have a certain level of respect and the relationship is already underway. It's not like just meeting somebody in a cafe, like, hey man, what's your name? Da, 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 da. I know he's Excalibur Zero. I know whoop, whoop, whoop. He knows I'm the producer whisperer. He knows whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, there's a ton of nuances in between that once you get to working together or talking together that you're going to find out. But the thing is that the relationship building starts with you marketing and promoting yourselves before anybody talks to you. Your believability comes from your social media. If you're on there posting bull crap, then chances are, if I let you email me a submission, there's going to be bull crap in that submission. You're not going to get it, right? So I'm very, very adamant about this whole social media thing, man. And because I see mistakes. I see a lot of people falling down this social media rabbit hole. Just, I'm going to post these memes or I'm going to be funny. Now, don't get me wrong. We do this sometimes. Okay. If you see something funny, there's a big event going on, a news event going on, or, LeBron getting traded or something, and you're an avid NBA fan or whatever. Yeah. Post something like that. But don't make a habit of always posting off topic. It is social media. We are human beings, post your family sometimes with your kids. We're human beings. So these companies want to see that we're human too sometimes. But on the flip side of that, right, if you go to a company's social media, so like if you go to Target's social media, you go to Coca-Cola social media, you don't see the owner of Coca-Cola on there with their family. You don't see the owner of Coca-Cola on there posting, oh, the Warriors lost last night. you know they stay on topic because they're a brand. So it just depends on how far you want to go with it. But just know this: the second you decided to get compensated for your music, you became a brand, whether you like it or not. So move accordingly, because you being a brand and moving through social media correctly is the very, very start of you building these business relationships that are so vital for you to succeed in not only the sync game, but in anything you're hustling to. I don't care if you're trying to get famous with the music. I don't care if you're trying to be a videographer, a mix engineer, a dancer, or whatever. This is all the same. That's why I call this the sync hustle mindset. Hustle mindset. Because if your mindset is impaired, your hustle will be impaired. And you don't have to just be hustling to sync. It's anything that we're not just graduating from college with a resume and going into a job. We have to make this happen via talking to people and building relationships and actually moving around and networking and that kind of thing. And so it all starts with your social media. So assignment for the week. Again, I've done this, but for all the new people, assignment for the week: check out your social media and you tell me, be honest with yourselves, come back and tell me for real, like, yeah, producer whisperer, yeah, FM. I wasn't on point. I had to correct some things. I had to delete some stuff. Delete all those old posts that aren't getting any views. Delete everything that's off topic, and really, really clean your stuff up. And see the difference. Lady producer, you did it. You see the difference. There are people on the team that have done it. You see the difference, and it makes a big difference. It will propel your career. Because like I say, man, we're hustling through this, right? So every interaction matters. Every time you look in somebody's eyes and talk to them, you want to win that interaction. Anytime you go somewhere, you network and you shake somebody's hand, you want to win that interaction. Again, anytime somebody comes to your social media and they look at you, you want to win that interaction. You want to leave that impression with them like, whoa, see the camera quality. Oh, they're on point. Oh, they got courses, and oh, they're doing their thing. These are the people that people online want to work with. They want to come and buy your course. They want to take advice from you. They want to be in your community, in your network, because you know what you're doing. You got that look. You shining, boy. You shining. You shining, girl. You shining. MC Shy did the same thing. MC Shaw. So everybody, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. So with that being said, I feel like I'm fussing at you, but the thing is that as a person that owns a company, a sync company, I do this when I'm talking about these music supervisors and these libraries and these companies. These are my peers, just like, because I'm still a music producer, so you guys are my peers too. But now these are my peers. These aren't companies that's like, oh, I'm looking up at these companies to help. Like I've been working. I'm 20 years in the game, so We've been working with these companies for 19 years. Okay, I got my first placement. I think, what was it, Tay? 2005. I think got my first placements on Real World. So I'm telling you guys from an educated standpoint, these companies are looking at you. I have conversations with people that own libraries. Okay. I have friends that own big libraries. There's a library at the Music Collective. Look it up. Homie of mine, Ryan Neal. He's a homie of mine. He's my homie. Like we go to lunch. Like he's a jujitsu master and stuff. We talk about martial arts or whatever. But we have conversations about sync and the issues in sync and the stuff that you guys as people new in the game you don't get, and we talk about our struggles, and part of our struggle as entities that always need new music, we always need fresh blood, new music, is the struggle of finding it and going on the social media, which is our only place to go and look for you guys, and seeing that a bunch of you guys don't get it. And it sucks because when we're listening to music, we'll hear a bunch of dope music, but then we look at the whole setup behind the music and it's like, okay, this person is not going to work well. They're not going to be dependable. Da, 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 da. So the way that you avoid all that crap is your social media. So we're going to really, really be on it, this assignment next week when we talk about it. And I want you guys to be honest and let me know, yeah, my social media sucked or it was on point. I want you to tell not just me, but tell the other people in the live, because you're influencing everybody else here, what you did to correct your social media. Because some of y'all got egos. Some of y'all are like, I'm not changing my social media. Okay, well, if that's the case, that's cool. You do you, be you, but you're blowing opportunities. Okay. The people that's looking for you are looking for someone like you. They're not just looking for your music. They're looking for somebody to work with. Yes, music is always wanted, but a reliable source of music is always needed. We need a reliable source of it. We don't need you to send us some great music and then disappear because you got into it with your baby mama over some stuff, or because you didn't get paid right away, or because of whatever the situation is, So there it is there. Okay, so let me go to the comments real quick because we're in the Q&A now. Thank you guys for listening to me rant for this hour and 45 minutes on this inaugural YouTube live. I'm loving it. I'm about to start putting some videos together and posting videos. We will be out of the studio. We're doing podcast style, so I will be interviewing people in their places, and we'll be out the crib. So let me go to the comments real quick. Did that. Is there a good example of social media? Excalibur Zero, Anthony Clint, Lady Producer, MC Shy, Shay Keys, pretty much anybody who was a regular of the Producer Whisperer, Sync Hustle Mindset, they've all straightened up their social media and they got on point, because I was on their asses about it. I was like, y'all tripping. I'm looking at a bunch of nonsense. And you guys out here talking about you want to win, but you looking crazy on there. Why you care about such and such? Why are you posting about such and such? See, the thing is crazy, is social media. So okay, we want laughs, we want those likes and this and that. But if you're trying to run a business, which, because you're trying to make money with your music, you're a business, whether you like it or not. If you're trying to run a business, get clients, get customers, you gotta pick your fight, man. You can't keep doing that. You can't keep mixing up the message. You're trying to send a message to people that you want to compensate you for your music, to use your music in media, right? So don't mix the message up. Honestly, if you really feel the need, and I said this before, if you really feel the need to just be goofy, right? Post whatever you want, post your memes, be funny or whatever. Go to your regular Facebook page, not your artist page or producer page. Go to your regular Facebook page. I have my George Matthews page on Facebook. Um, and that's where all my people, from went to high school with me, my family, my friends, and all that stuff that really know me in real life, they're on Facebook. So I post that type of content because I know that they're not worried about sync. They don't care about my placements. They don't give a damn about that kind of stuff, right? You know, and I see by the type of, reactions that I get to a post. If I post something, oh, we got a placement, the reaction will be, I get a few likes or whatever. But if I post a video of, somebody falling down an escalator or whatever, it's gonna be like 100 likes on there and a bunch of comments and this and that, because that's what it's for. It might be the same way on the other platforms, but I don't do that on the other platforms because why? These companies are looking for you on the other platforms. They're looking on Twitter, they're looking on Instagram, and even on TikTok. They're looking to see if you're staying glued together with what you say you do, if you are a professional at what you do. If you are on there posting a bunch of crap, you're not a professional. Professionals stay on topic. And we only want to work with professionals. We don't want to work with amateurs, right? So how do you come off as a professional if you have never got a placement? Your social media, you know, make us believe that you're at work all the time doing this, not just on there having fun. Trust me, this is what you do. I'm having conversations with the people that are looking for you to pay you. So trust me. So I'm scrolling through, scrolling through, scrolling through. Consistency. Had to tighten up my socials. Yes. You have great posts. Yeah, Zelle has great posts. And Zelle, your social media is about to be solid as it can be. Yeah, man. Take a little bit of the social out of social media. And if you want to post stuff that has to do with what you're talking about. Like go to Billboard, type in music licensing or sync licensing, look at a couple of those articles that they talk about, how much money publishing made last year, or, how so-and-so is selling their song catalog for the publishing money or whatever. Like post interesting news stories that have to do with your profession. you know it doesn't always have to be like I'm in the lab, or I'm working on this project or whatever, but just show potential clients and customers, and even peers in the space, that this is what you do seriously, right? So you have that element of believability. Once you get that element of believability, then the opportunities will come. It's not as hard to monetize what you're doing once people believe you, right? You don't walk into a McDonald's and question shit. You know what it is. So you want people to walk into your McDonald's and know what it is. You want people to walk into your social media and know what it is, right? They can look up on the menu and say, "Oh, a Big Mac is $2 or whatever." Like, I'm speaking metaphorically, but you guys know what I'm talking about, man. Don't blow your opportunity to really send a message out there to potential clients, customers, and peers about what you're really about, what you really do. Promote yourself as a specialist, and then just keep going and keep going and keep going. I promise you, and I don't promise stuff. I don't even make promises, but don't take this lightly. You do what I'm asking you to do now. I promise you, you're going to see results. And I can promise you, you're going to see results. Why? Because I am behind the curtain. I am talking to these library owners. I'm not talking to just the music supervisors and stuff. I'm talking to people that are peers in my space, that own companies, that have rosters of people, that are looking for people, that have a large client list like we have, that are placing in commercials, they're placing in film, they're placing in television, they're placing in video games, they're placing music, their companies are doing stuff, and they're steady looking for people like you. And it's hard to find you. It's hard to find y'all, man. Just because the music is not hard to find. A bunch of you guys are dope at making music, or at least adequate enough to make music that can get placed. It's the do we want to get into a long-term commitment? Because like I have a commitment to the people on my team just as much as I have a commitment to my clients, right? So it's important that my clients be serviced in expeditiously. Like, we get a brief. If the brief is due in a week, we're turning in music in 2 days, 3 days. That's just how we operate, right? Um, I could go on and on. I'm just running my mouth at this point. You guys know what it is. I could just talk about social media for the next hour. Um, the reason I'm so passionate about it is because when it's time for me to sit down and be like, okay, let's find somebody, it's hard. It's hard. The music part of it isn't, but then when I start looking at the social media, I'm like, this person's going to disappear. This person is, they're all about their beat stars, or this person is selling drum kits. They're not really who I'm looking for. So put that message out there that you're sync minded, not that you're just trying to get placements or whatever, but that you're sync minded. You're paying attention, and you're paying attention to the space. See what I'm saying? Synchronization is popular, and some reasons why. You are aware of the fact that this song got placed in this, in Stranger Things, and it made this much money, or it did these type. Like you're paying attention to the space you're trying to be successful in, and it all shows in your social media. These are the people that are going to pop out. Excalibur says, put one stop in your music bio. Okay, so thank you, Excalibur. See, I knew it. I knew Excalibur was going to bring value. This is what he do. So check it out. Or one stop sync ready. One stop means that the person isn't going to have, there's a couple of meanings for one stop. So the main reason for one stop is that you're the one stop. Somebody looking for music, they're not going to have to go anywhere else and get any kind of information, details about that music. They could come to you, get that music, and use it. Another definition of one stop is that the music is usable with no issues, right? So that means all of the writers are cool on it. Everybody knows they're on it. You don't want a situation where a piece of music gets placed and I've had this happen before. Somebody hit the TV station like, I heard my music I collabed on and no one gave me permission to send it to you guys or whatever. And like, it's like, you don't want that. You want everybody on board with it when you're doing collaboration. So if I were you, guys do an agreement with everyone, a one pager saying that whoever is pitching the music, you have the right to pitch the music for anybody that's on that agreement, right? And that when you are promoting yourself, yes, it's like Excalibur said, you say your music is one stop. One stop meaning that there's no issues and that you know what you're doing. It's a very, and it's a, once you use the term one stop is a sync term. So if you even use that term, they're going to know, okay, they're in the sync game, because you don't say, there's a term you don't use on the outside. It's like, you don't want to say putting your beats on TV, you say cues, because we don't use beats on television, we use cues. So there's a whole lingo. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So Creation Role says, aside from social media, is there anything else that would turn you away from working with an artist? Social media is really the only way for me to tell, besides their music, right? So if the music wasn't right, that would turn me away. If there's a bunch of cussing and stuff, they're too ratchet. Like I say, they're talking about spinning the block, or the girls talking about getting the bag, or F that dude or whatever. Like I don't have no parts of none of that or whatever. So the music, but as far as turning me away, social media is 100%. There's no other way for me to know anything about you other than social media, unless you have a website. But then if you have a website, you're going to have social media too. Your website's not, you're not going to be active on your website. Social media, you're going to be active. So I can see how you are. I can see what you're posting, what kind of stuff you're interested in. If you're just trying to get likes, or if you really about this sync life. If you about this sync life, it's going to show. See what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. Social media is your resume. There's no other way but social media for anyone to know anything about you. 100%. So shout out to Creation Role Music for the great question. And yeah, that's it. That's why I keep harping on the social media, because that's your calling card. It's not just how it looks. It's about how you're posting, how you're moving through social media. You're getting looked at. Y'all getting looked at. I can't stress that enough. You can do what you want to do with your social media. You can go in there and post yourself juggling, whatever. But the people that got money to pay you for your music, the people that got the ability to put your music into media, the people that have the ability to pitch your music to people that have the ability to put your music in media, we all looking. We're looking and we're scouring and we're searching, so it's really up to y'all. It's really up to y'all. What's up, Lee the Plug? Nice to see you. Follow if you're not following. We're about to get up off of here in a minute. And you guys follow each other. You guys, I encourage that. We've always been a dope community here as far as you guys working with each other and networking. And I can't stress enough the fact that we cannot do this alone, y'all. We need help. Not one person can make all the music. Not one person or entity has all the plugs. Not one person knows everything. And sync is always growing and evolving. And there it is there. So please, I encourage you to get in the chat, network, follow each other. When we do the wins in the beginning of the live every Friday, you add each other and give each other fire emojis. You network with each other during the week, and we could all make this happen for each other, man. I'm not trying to sound all kumbaya or mushy or nothing, but it's real. It's real. There's enough opportunity out there for all of you guys to be successful in this sync game. It never stops. There's always shows, there's always movies, there's always opportunities, and there's never enough people to fill it. There's enough music, but there's never enough reliable sources of the music. See what I'm saying? So now, I could be on here telling you about, make your tension cues 2 minutes long, make sure you put a sting out, structure, and this and that. There's plenty of the information out there like that, right? I refer you to Road to 10 Placements, Anthony Clint, he covers all that, right? But there's a whole aspect of sync that I think gets glossed over because we pay so much attention to the actual music, right? Of course, we got to have the music, right? Of course, it's got to be structured. You got to know the sync game in order to be able to structure your stuff right. But then if you're moving through the space with inadequate business tactics or social tactics, you're not really skilled at that. You're not going to get nearly the amount of opportunities that you could get. Even though your music is good, you still got to be able to be the person that they want to work with. And, people have to see the value, be able to see, okay, well, I can make some money with this person. I can get some placements with this person. Let me go check out what they're doing. Oh, they're on their shit. Their social media is buttoned up. Oh, they're providing information for people. Oh, they're always working on a project, and if you guys are listening to me talk, I'm never talking about, oh, this person has to have a long resume of placements. You want to see that they've gotten a placement or two, gotten some placements. But even if they haven't, that has nothing to do with how they're moving. You can see how they're moving. And if they're moving in a professional way, that's very, very, very appealing to companies like ours, because we need somebody for the long run. If we hit you up and say we like your music, we're trying to work with you, not just your music. We're trying to work with you. And we can't do it without you. Smash Coast is only as strong as the people that are on the team. Okay. We all got our oars in the water. We all got to row, or the boat ain't going nowhere. So you start this conversation off, you start training people. If you are the type that's going to put your oar in the water and be a good teammate, be a good asset, not a liability to a situation, by the way you moving on your social media. 100%. So there it is there, man. I'm going to open up a quick Q&A. Been on here for approximately 2 hours and 4 minutes. I'm loving YouTube. So a quick Q&A real quick, and then we're going to get out of here and let you guys enjoy your Friday. I got some stuff to do. This was dope, man. I'm so happy I'm on YouTube now. Look at the crispiness. I'm following everybody that I don't follow on here so far. Revision, you had a question? Go ahead and put it down here at the bottom, man. So there's a bunch of stuff for me to scroll through. Hold on. That's why I guess I do need a moderator soon, because this chat does get long. And yeah, I don't see it. So go ahead and put it at the go ahead and put it at the bottom. Revision, you got a question real quick? I'm looking in the chat section. I don't see any more questions. So I'm thinking it's getting time to wrap this up. Revision, come on, man. You got a question? There we go. Okay, so Sagara says, my main focus right now. Oh, you reposted his question. Sagara posted Revision's question for him. Y'all just, man, the love amount on this live is crazy. Y'all really be supporting each other. I don't know, man. It's so dope. Okay, so the question is, it says, my main focus right now is sync, but I make and release lo-fi as well for fun. The majority of my posts are lo-fi. Should I separate the two? 100%. If you're promoting that all you do is lo-fi, then your sync game is going to suffer for that, right? It's cool that you're active. It's showing that you're active doing stuff. but you want to have a diversity of the stuff that you want to be able to really show that you can contribute to the sync game. So keep posting music, but definitely like mix it up with some up tempo stuff, and even say I'm creating this for sports, or I'm creating this for reality television, or I'm creating tension for such and such. Put that in your post, and then say available one stop. But if all you're posting is lo-fi, and in the sync game there's not a ton of usage for lo-fi, like people just aren't, it gets used like everything gets used, but you want to get the stuff that like is hot. You want to what you call it in resolution, like they make in reality television. The format is that things are going wrong and then things are fixed, things are going bad and then things are fixed, and so there's a lot of like emotion in that. So there could be some up tempo stuff, there could be some down tempo stuff, um but you want to mix it up in that tension lane, and promote that. That's excuse me, that's what you do, because lo-fi for sync is tension, but it's like down tempo, like lower tension. So you want to mix it up. So shout out to Revision with the great question. Great question. Great question. So Nico Sonato, I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Tracks, when you're looking for composer artists, what aspects caused your attention? Hashtag, reels, etc. The thing that helps us get your attention. Me personally is what you're posting. I realize that not everybody has money for the hot, for the camera, and like, a set, nobody, everybody doesn't have like the dope studio room for the background. Like I'm not tripping on none of that, right? The thing that I'm looking for personally, once I'm, because like if I'm looking for somebody through social media, I haven't heard your music yet. I'm literally like, let me go find somebody, right? So this is something that hits me before I even get to listen to your music. Hopefully there's a link to your music within your profile or something. But I'm going to just see how you're moving, what you're posting. Okay. I'll look at your last 5 posts, not the ones that are pinned, so much, but like what you're actively posting. Like, what are you putting up there on a daily? And what are you talking about? If you're talking about sync, I'm interested. If I hear that you're posting visuals of you in the lab making music for sync, I'm interested. If I see you online posting advice or game for other people, uh, and you're in the sync space, I'm interested. Um, the things that turn me off are just the opposite of that. People that are just on social media having fun, that aren't professional, that aren't consistent, with the sync related music, type thing or whatever. Um, and I'm telling you that other than the people that I've seen on, following, people like Excalibur, myself, Clan, or whatever, like a lot of you guys get it more so. But if the teachers aren't telling you guys, hey, your social media sucks, like I'm telling you, your social media sucks, a lot of it slips by you guys, right? And it makes a difference. You know, the guys like Clint and Excalibur, they're professionals as far as uh, bringing you guys information. They're teachers in the space. And so that automatically lends a credibility and a sense of professionalism to their social media, just because of what they're on there doing. They're not on there basically for themselves. They're on there for us. Most of their stuff has to do with teaching or advising or giving us information. And that's professional as hell. Is very admirable. And so the fact that these guys have some success in the sing space and they are creating music, this is something that I'm looking for. You basically looking for somebody that gets it. You don't want somebody that once you bring them on, they're asking a million questions because they don't get it, or they don't know how to format music because they don't get it, or anything that could go wrong because they don't get it. And the only way for me to know any of this before I hear your music, before I talk to you, is your social media. So great question, Nico. Fire emojis for Nico. Okay, so I'm still Excalibur had to jump off. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon. We appreciate you being here. Creation Roll Music says, if you did a remix of your own song that is the same, aside from changing the hook and the song title, would you do a new split sheet? Would you have any reservation retitling a collaboration? I'm not quite sure. Let me read this again. If you did a remix of your own song that is the same aside from changing the hook. Well, put it this way. I kind of see what you're saying. Um, would you have any reservations? No. A different version of a song is a different version of a song. If there's different people on the song and the splits are different, then yeah. If you go to your ASCAP right now, your BMI, when you go to register music, it gives you the opportunity when you're registering music to register alternate titles. And I'm gonna tell you what that's for. The alternate titles are just what it says. So if you have a remix, like you said, an alternate version with different people on it, um that's a different title. What we do as a non-exclusive company is we retitle everything. So whatever you send us, I don't care what the title is, we retitle it so we can collect our publisher share with the title that we register. um Most companies do this, a one-time retitle, so they can collect on that title. Case in point, if you have a single that you have out already, it's on Spotify, right? You guys already released it. You guys have all of the splits of people on the song. Okay. So it's already registered for whoever's on the publishing, whoever's on the writers, right? So you send that song to us and you want us to pitch that song. Okay. Well, we can't get compensated on the publishing end, which is we're a publisher, because you guys already have it registered under, the name of the song is, that red car or whatever. So what we do is we take that red car and we retitle it Drive That Red Car, or we drive red cars, or red car, or whatever, red car SCM for Smash Coast Music or whatever. And we'll put an amended title on that registration, and on that title, and then we'll register it. That way we can get compensated on that back end for that title, and you have that same song out there on Spotify, you know paying you, getting you popularity and paying you. So you have your song out there working in the streets, and then you got your song working in the background on the sync. It's a sync title. So 100% to answer Creation Roll Music's question, yes, we retitle, have no reservations at all. Just make sure that everybody on the split sheet knows what's up and there's no issues, and that's it. So great question, great question. And with that being said, make sure that before I get out of here, because we're 2 hours now, I got to get out of here. Make sure that you guys follow each other real quick. Go in the comments real quick. Follow each other up. Support each other. Still gonna see you guys on Instagram. Thank you for the first dope live, man. It's really really dope. I don't even know how to cut this off. Okay, so end stream. So that's it. I think I have time for one more question, and then we're gonna get out of here. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Okay, so shout out to all of the old people from Instagram. I love y'all. Thanks for following me over here. Definitely shout out to all the new people. Lead a plug. I see you with the fire emojis. Thank you guys, man. Follow, and we're gonna keep it live. Be patient, do the work. That's what's up. I'm the producer whisperer. Peace.